Hi, I'm Matt Ruland, Senior Product Manager on Lithic's Fraud and Authorization team, and we've shipped a lot this quarter. I'm really excited to share a roundup of new features with you for the first time in this format. Payments are getting faster, more programmable, and more connected. The place where all of this comes together is in the authorization. We'll be focusing on a handful of exciting releases that support Authorization Intelligence, Lithic's framework for programmable payment decisioning. Across the payment stack, we're incorporating context, permissions, and continuous risk signals into every step of the transaction lifecycle. Let's get started on some of those new releases. Introducing Fraud Essentials. Lithic's Fraud Essentials gives every program a baseline layer of fraud protection. No heavy lift to get started. You can set rules that trigger conditionally to block authorizations or cap velocity across card, account, MCC, country, and more. At Lithic, we believe that testing and analytics is core to a good fraud strategy. Shadow mode means that you can test a rule's real-world impact before it ever touches a transaction. Watch the analytics, build confidence, and then flip it live when you're ready. With Fraud Essentials, tokenization and 3DS just work. You get coverage of all the wallet's requirements and best practices out of the box, and a fraud model built on data from millions of authentications. Nothing extra for your team. Let's try out some of that rule creation, performance, and testing capability. If I'm running a business expense management program, I may want to have a rule that declines transactions above $500 per day for employees, except for the most senior leaders. Let's configure that rule across our program and test it in shadow mode, so we know how it will perform before pushing it live. Now, it'll take some time for transactions to run and understand how that rule performs. So let's look at an already active rule and understand how it's impacting approvals, declines, and challenges. You can also test an alternate draft of a rule in shadow mode and see how the performance compares against the live version of that same rule. These Fraud Essentials are available out of the box to every program on Lithic. For programs that need more sophisticated controls, we're introducing Fraud Command, our premium package for businesses that want the deepest level of control over fraud and their decline rates. Access to these new features help you create more contextualized settings for secure spend on your program. That includes tokenization rules. The defaults from networks and mobile wallet providers are a strong baseline of protection, but they don't know the nuances of your program. Strengthen defenses when you apply your own logic to tokenization and prevent unrecoverable fraud and false positives. Authorization challenges. When a transaction looks off, you can have a cardholder verify their identity via SMS without permanently losing the transaction. Backtesting. Take any draft rule, run it against months of your real historical data, and see exactly what it would have caught. Draft a rule, run the backtest, see the results, promote it live. It's important to remember that backtesting doesn't replace shadow mode, but instead it accelerates the path to confident deployment. Custom code rules. For teams that want to go beyond the basic rule builder, write fully custom auth logic tailored to your risk strategy, in TypeScript, directly in the Lithic dashboard. This is not just for developers either. Our new dashboard feature empowers anyone to write custom rules in natural language. Describe the rule you want, and Lithic's AI writes the supporting TypeScript code. Contextual signals. Your rules can now factor in contextual card and account behavior. For example, limiting spend within 3 standard deviations of the card's average spend in a given period, not just static attributes. And for what's next, our team of fraud experts are curating a pre-configured rule library for you to seamlessly apply rules to your program directly from the Lithic dashboard. And as we look further into Q2 and the year ahead, we'll continue to build out our fraud prevention suite, including allowing you to leverage embedded device data, advanced machine learning risk scoring, and more dynamic features across the entire transaction lifecycle. Now let's talk about some changes to wallet provisioning. Our updates earlier this quarter eliminated gaps on which wallets can be accessed through what mediums. Cardholders have long been able to push their cards to Google or Apple wallets for seamless spending through in-app push provisioning. Now, you can give them the option to add their card to Google Wallet from the web, no download required. This brings Google Wallet to parity with our existing Apple Wallet provisioning. Next, we're extremely excited to announce our consumer revolving credit ledgering capability. So you can offer credit with sophisticated interest calculations, disclosure requirements, and statement handling, all taken care of by Lithic. Finally, we're introducing early direct deposit, giving programs the ability to make incoming ACH funds available to your customers sooner. Now recipients can access pay up to 2 days early. Early direct deposit gives digital banks and modern payroll providers the opportunity to offer value prior to payday, which is a clear advantage for customer engagement and retention. I know I speak for the entire product team here at Lithic when I say that we are so excited to bring these features to market and see programs take advantage of these powerful new capabilities. To talk more about where Lithic is heading, I'd like to introduce Gandhi, Chief Product Officer at Lithic.
Listen, as we look at the world today, we're seeing tectonic shifts affecting our industry. Primarily, they're driven by AI and stablecoins. And the thing is, these macro trends, we know that they're affecting us in our everyday lives, but they're fundamentally going to change the way that money moves. I mean, it's just the reality. And it's one of the reasons that we have decided to double down on this idea of building programmable payments infrastructure for this new world. Authorization Intelligence is a big part of it, and I think our premium fraud command offering is going to make it a lot easier for our customers. What's unique about this is that you no longer need to be a payments or a cards expert, nor do you need to have this massive engineering team to tweak rules or to maintain a high uptime responder in order to get these complex, customized rules that you need to fight fraud. And in addition to some of these things that we're going to be rolling out over this next quarter to fraud controls, we're also going to be thinking about some of the things that our clients, you, have asked us to deliver, right? And that's adding more feature sets to our digital banking offering. It means adding more functionality to our dashboard. And it also means accommodating highly complex business structures. But that's not it. We're also injecting agentic workflows into our program services, and we're also looking at ways that we can use stablecoin to improve liquidity and reach for all of you. Look, this is it. Real-time, programmable, context-aware. That's what we think the future is going to need for payments infrastructure. And I personally am really excited to see what you think about what we've built. And I'm excited to see what you all build on top of what we're creating. Listen, if you are a Lithic client today, please reach out to your success manager and ask them to tell you more about some of these new releases. Otherwise, follow us on LinkedIn. Feel free to subscribe to our product newsletter, or you can even just reach out to me directly. I am super excited on what we're going to build together.